Well, congratulations. My name's Ed McFerran. I'm back again. This is a video that accompanies our letter to you indicating that your recent acquisition or replacement property transaction is closed. For many of our clients, this will be the final acquisition of replacement properties. For other clients, they will be acquiring a number of replacement properties. This video assumes that you have acquired your last replacement property, and we're starting to take the steps necessary in order for you to, move forward in the acquisition and operation of your new properties, and also to prepare for purposes of completing such things as tax returns and the like. Depending upon the transactions dates, we may have monies in your account, we may have expended all the monies in your account. One of our staff members will be in contact with you regarding those particular monies and what they can be used for. But let's assume for purposes of this video that you have used all the money in your exchange account. Let's assume that you've acquired the final replacement property, and let's assume that you have completed 100% tax deferred exchange and anticipate paying no capital gains tax because you will have acquired a replacement property equal to or greater than the exchange value of the relinquished property. Refreshing memory again, exchange value is our sale price minus our attributable closing costs, commissions, title, escrow, recording charges, and the like. And our acquisition includes those allowable closing costs as well. One of our staff members is more than happy to help and assist you in those calculations, and will have probably already provided that information to you and possibly your accountant during the course of our tax deferred exchange. Where we are now is that we are obtaining from the closing people copies of original closing papers. In many cases, the original deeds will be mailed to you from the closing officer, and we are obtaining from them final, approved, and conformed settlement statements indicating a review of the final transaction to conform with the terms and conditions of our overall exchange agreement. At this stage, you have become the owner of the replacement property. Matters of security deposits, transfers, all those types of housekeeping items will have been taken care of. And upon the date of closing, you will have become the owner of this replacement property. Depending upon whether this is your last acquisition or not, your exchange may be over, or this may be an interim step where you're going to acquire a different property. If, however, your exchange is over with and this is the only property that you declared, you can anticipate that our office will be forwarding to you promptly any remaining funds held in your exchange account that were not utilized to acquisition the replacement property. At this time, we will be closing the file for internal paperwork purposes because the exchange period will be over. We will be reviewing the file and obtaining over the next few weeks up to approximately 60 days after your transaction, depending upon where in the country your transactions were closing. Keep in mind that it takes a period of time for all these documents to come back to our office. Generally speaking, at the closing of your transaction, we're not done yet. We generally have a period of time afterwards where we're gathering documents from the various closing agencies around the country, and ultimately we're going to prepare for you a final letter. The final letter will be one that you'll want to keep and prepare to give to your tax preparer, because in reality that tax preparer will have all the information he or she needs to prepare your tax return within the confines of that final letter. I'm not going to talk about the final letter or the details in the final letter in this particular video, and the reason for that, of course, is that we have one last video, and that's the video that will accompany the final letter that you receive. That video is intended for you, but it's also intended to be given to your certified public accountant or tax preparer, as we will go over in detail the information associated with the filing of your tax return. I'm going to make one final point here that I think is important. If your transaction for the relinquished property, now that was our sale transaction, if your transaction for the relinquished property occurred in the year that you are receiving your replacement property, then you will have had a tax-deferred exchange all in 1 year. If that is true, you will be filing your tax return for that year on April 15th of the following year. If, however, your relinquished property, again, the sale property, closed in a year different than the replacement property was acquired, say for instance you sold your relinquished property in 2016 but acquired your replacement property in 2017, you need to keep in mind that you had a 2016 tax-deferred exchange for tax reporting purposes. Notwithstanding that your replacement property closed in 2017, the year to which the relinquished property closes determines the year upon which we will file the tax return. This is an important consideration. Many people don't realize this, and many times the accountants don't know about this because you don't give them the information. So if your transaction is relinquished in 1 year, that is the year to which you're going to file your tax return. That's going to be indicated on our final letter to you. We've appreciated the opportunity of serving you. At this point in time, we're going to be closing our file on this matter for daily purposes, and we're going to merely tickle the file for purposes of preparing the final letter. The date upon the final letter will depend upon a variety of factors, but primarily it's going to depend upon our ability to get the necessary documents that we can obtain from various closing parties around the country. Frankly, I've got to tell you, sometimes it's pulling teeth to get some of these documents from closing officers, and so it may take 30 to 60 days for that final letter to be finished. We have appreciated providing you service, and keep in mind that our service doesn't end during this time period. Feel free to contact any of our staff members regarding questions that you may have at this stage of your transaction. We thank you for the opportunity of serving you. Good day.